Attention all dedicated Dallas Cowboys supporters. Big developments are unfolding in the NFC East that could completely reshape the division's balance of power. What's coming next could have a direct effect on Dallas's pursuit of another championship. We're talking about a potential turning point that might leave one rival struggling to recover for seasons to come. Before diving in, if you truly bleed blue and silver, make sure to subscribe and join this passionate Cowboys community. Let's push together toward our goal of 8,000 subscribers. Share this with fellow fans and friends who live for the star. Now, on to the breaking story. If you caught the Week 7 clash against the Washington Commanders, you witnessed one of those emotional roller coaster games that define the NFL. Thrilling, unpredictable, and nerve-wracking. The Cowboys, a franchise built on legacy, pride, and unshakable ambition, encountered a blow that could alter the course of their entire season. That devastating moment was the injury to Kenny Clark, a cornerstone of Dallas's defensive front. And make no mistake, this wasn't just a small hiccup. It could become the turning point that decides whether the Cowboys make a deep playoff push or even return to the Super Bowl stage. Before unpacking what exactly happened, let's zoom out for context. Despite a turbulent season filled with highs and lows, Dallas remains a team capable of competing with the NFL's elite. Their defense, though inconsistent at times, displayed bursts of brilliance against Washington, forcing turnovers, making key stops, and keeping the contest close. One highlight that reignited belief came when cornerback Deron Bland intercepted a pass and returned it 68 yards for a touchdown, his first pick since 2023. That play electrified the entire sideline, lifting fan spirits and reminding everyone that this team still has grit and the ability to shift momentum in a heartbeat. But football can be cruel. Momentum swings can vanish as quickly as they appear. Immediately after Bland's heroic return, the Commanders answered with a long, methodical drive that ended with running back Chris Rodriguez Jr. punching it in from close range. The score was tied, the tension thick, and Dallas's defense suddenly under intense pressure. Then came the moment that silenced the stadium. Kenny Clark collapsed on the turf after what seemed at first like a routine play. But when he stayed down, concern spread instantly. Teammates and coaches gathered, their reactions confirming the gravity of the situation. In football, losing a player isn't merely about filling a spot. It's about losing leadership, energy, and stability. Clark has been the backbone of the Dallas's defensive front, anchoring the line with his power and experience. His absence doesn't just alter formations, it shakes the team's confidence and strategy. Medical staff rushed to his aid, setting up the blue tent for evaluation. When Clark finally walked off under his own power, it was a relief, but uncertainty lingered. Everyone knew this injury might carry serious implications for the Cowboys' season. This isn't a minor setback. It could reshape the defensive identity of the team. With depth already stretched thin, losing Clark forces the coaching staff into difficult adjustments. It opens doors for backups to prove themselves, but also increases vulnerability, particularly against run-heavy offenses and mobile quarterbacks. In the NFL, injuries are inevitable, yet some change everything. This could be one of those moments. After the injury, Dallas tried to stay composed and finish strong, but the emotional weight was visible. The defense, which had just found rhythm, must now adapt without its anchor. Coaches and doctors will be evaluating Clark closely, and fans across Cowboys Nation are waiting nervously for updates. If the diagnosis is severe, Dallas faces a true test of resilience, not just of talent, but of depth and mental toughness. And when you zoom out to the divisional picture, the stakes rise even higher. The NFC East has been a brutal battleground this year. With the Eagles, Giants, and Commanders all clawing for control, a critical injury to one of the Cowboys' most vital defenders could shift the entire competitive landscape. The NFC East race is razor close. Every snap, every down, and every injury carries enormous weight. The Dallas Cowboys, firmly in the heart of the playoff hunt, now face an unexpected challenge that will test not only their depth, but also their determination. Beyond this setback, it's worth stepping back to assess the broader picture of their season. The Cowboys have displayed flashes of dominance, particularly on offense, where some of the most explosive playmakers in the league shine. Their quarterback has delivered solid performances, and the offensive line has done an admirable job protecting him throughout most contests. But as every NFL fan knows, championship runs are built on defense, and that's precisely where the cracks are beginning to show. Defensively, the Cowboys have been good, but not consistently great, and with injuries beginning to pile up on the front line, that inconsistency could become even more apparent. Still, if there's one thing this franchise has always embodied, it's perseverance. From their legendary runs in the 1990s to recent postseason pushes, Dallas has never been a team that folds under pressure. Now, with Kenny Clark potentially sidelined for an extended period, the responsibility falls squarely on the shoulders of the coaches and players left standing to fill that crucial void. It's a daunting challenge, but also a moment ripe with opportunity. This is where unsung heroes emerge, where backups transform into stars, and where teams prove their mettle. Across social media, fans are already lighting up the conversation, some expressing optimism that Dallas's depth can sustain the blow, others fearing that Clark's absence might mark a turning point that derails the season. It's the timeless NFL storyline, perseverance versus adversity. It's what makes the league so compelling. Each week births new triumphs, heartbreaks, and storylines. Strategically, the coaching staff will have to adapt quickly. Defensive rotations might shift, giving more snaps to young prospects or veteran reserves eager to make their mark. This is their shot to prove they belong among the league's elite. Meanwhile, leadership on the field will become more vital than ever. Maintaining morale and focus through adversity is just as important as executing plays. Football is, after all, as much a mental game as it is a physical one. Looking ahead, opposing teams will undoubtedly try to capitalize on Clark's absence. The Cowboys must respond with precision, discipline, and relentless energy to preserve their defensive strength. The next several weeks could define not only their record, but their identity. How they respond to this moment will say everything about their championship credentials. Will the team rally around their fallen teammate? Will they reinvent their defense and rise stronger? Those are the questions that will define the stretch. Of course, injuries are an unavoidable part of football. Every great team faces them. What separates champions is their ability to adapt, persevere, and emerge tougher than ever. The Cowboys have the talent and legacy to do just that. But for now, it's about resilience, unity, and embracing the next man up mentality that defines great locker rooms. As we await updates on Clark's condition and evaluate what this means for Dallas's postseason ambitions, one thing remains certain. This team has always been defined by its fighting spirit. The NFC East is a war zone, and setbacks like this only add fuel to the competitive fire. The Cowboys have weathered storms before, and if history is any guide, they'll fight their way back once again. Now, Cowboys Nation, it's your turn. What's your perspective on this injury? Can Dallas overcome it and stay on course for a deep playoff run, or is this the start of a rough patch that could alter their trajectory? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters to this community and to the conversation. And don't forget, we'll be back soon with more updates, in-depth analysis, and everything you need to stay connected to your Cowboys. So keep that star shining bright, stay passionate, and remember, the journey isn't over. It's just getting started, and we're all in this together.